Should the government give pensioners more money? Get your calls in now on 0207 862 2222. I'm asking because a new report highlights the fact that almost 2 million pensioners are cutting back on essentials. It's the heating or eating thing. Now MPs are calling on the government to do more to help by creating a UK-wide strategy to tackle what's called pensioner poverty. The full rate of new state pension gives you £230 and 25p a week, just shy of £12,000 a year. That can be topped up by another £4,000 if you apply for pension credit. It can also help you receive support such as housing benefit, help with council tax, free TV licence, winter fuel payments and a warm homes discount. But, and this is the crucial bit really, only around 2/3 of eligible pensioners do claim their full entitlement of benefits. Many try to make do with what they're already being paid, probably because they feel humiliated or embarrassed, I would imagine, we're going to talk about this in a second, to apply for the money they're entitled to have. That being said, government figures show the average pensioner income is around £20,000 a year, and the vast majority own their homes outright, so many have minimal outgoings. So do you feel they need more money? Let's ask Jeremy.
Now, this is quite a difficult one to answer because it really is how long is a piece of string, because there are some pensioners, everyone thinks of the boomers of having paid off their mortgages and living in these big palaces and having loads of money, when that's not the case for all of them. So I do think it should be means tested. And I'm kind of fed up of the idea of, we're not looking at the right way. Rather than giving them pensioners more money so they can afford to have the heating on, we should be tackling the extortionate heating and electricity bills. I think we should be looking at the utilities, at those kind of things, rather than just keep patching it up and giving all the profits to them. Personally, I think that's the case. So I think that the answer is yes, some should, but I think those that have money should perhaps look at downsizing. And I know this isn't going to be a popular view, but I think there's too many people rattling around in big houses. Not everyone, I know not everyone is that case, but those who have that should give up those houses for families, take the money out and maybe actually dip into it a bit themselves for the good of the rest of the country.
All right, so they should sell the houses that they themselves own, to free up some money.
Yeah, but also to give those houses to families, because there aren't enough houses. We've got a massive housing crisis, so it's all the same thing. Because people they're sitting on this huge equity, okay? So on paper they're rich, but they're not in real life. But they took the equity out of that, handed the house to somebody who, perhaps a family who needed it, could get into it, so stop the prices going up. I think so. It's quite a complex question, to be honest.
Right, well, it is. Well, we don't ask questions that aren't complex on this
not,
programme.
no.
Why would we do that? We wouldn't insult our beautiful viewers by asking some silly question that everybody already knows the answer to. Let's ask Sarah-Jane about this. Of course, there are attempts going on at the moment to pit young people against older people, aren't they? And say young people have never had it so bad, they can't get on the housing ladder, they're in really dire financial need, loads of them still living at home with their parents for years and years and years, whereas older people with the triple lock have never had it so good. And there's a kind of attempt, I think, to stir up a sort of age dividing and set people up against one another. How do you feel about paying pensioners more money?
I think they do deserve more money. And to your point about releasing equity, one of my friends, his father has dementia, and it is, the equity in the house has been cannibalised by the care home situation. It is so expensive. Yeah. To have your parents in a care home. So that's the first thing, thinking about health that's going to be on the decline. And also, when you mentioned about people maybe not applying for what they're due, it also might come down to an awareness thing. A lot of the time, people don't know what to apply for. They don't actually know that they're due anything. And I feel like this is a government, they're supposed to be a bit of a Robin Hood government, there's VAT now on private schools. Should that money not be allocated to the vulnerable? Why are we kind of taking money from people with disabilities? Why is pensioner poverty on the rise? It doesn't make sense to me.
Let's bring Claire into this. I mean, the question is, should pensioners get more money? What do you think?
Well, the reality is there's no money left to give to anybody, right? That is the reality of the situation. I don't think that you can talk about pensioners getting more money without talking about the housing issue as a separate issue, not one combined, because pensioners have gone through 16, 17% interest rates back in the 80s. They cut their cloth. They could teach us a thing or two about budgeting, etc., etc. And we're now told that basic state pension age is now going to move to something like 74.
I keep seeing that.
When,
I'm edging closer and closer, and every time I get closer, just like everyone else, the goalposts shift again and again.
But this is something that we have paid into, right, and there's something that we should respectfully get back. And I think we have to be very careful here about the pitting of young people, Gen Zers. I can't get on the housing ladder because there's 66% people owning their own homes. forget it, love, right? I've got kids who can't either. That's a completely different thing.
Different, yeah.
We have to, maintain the ability to keep our pensioners safe, because if we don't care for those that have put in, that have worked, that might be vulnerable, that are starting to get older, elderly and infirm, then what kind of society are we really?
But the question
Yes.
also, Claire, you have to take into account the fact that people are living so much longer than when these things were put into place. So it's all, and I completely agree with you, we've got to look after the older people, but the simple fact is there is no money, and how are you going to make that money stretch? It has to come from somewhere. So it's all very well saying that's a separate issue, but it's kind of not.
No, I think
because
you'll
it's
find
only one pot of money. There's only one circulation of money.
But Jeremy, these people, pensioners have paid into the pot. I paid
agree.
into my pot. I'm 53. I was hoping, I've got a private pension that I had when I was a young thing, started out at age 16. I've still got that with the company, and I'm looking forward to taking the 25%. It's not a lot of money at age 60, because that will be a wedding for one of my children. It will be something. It certainly won't be for me. But the issue about people rattling around in their own homes, I think that's quite disingenuous, Jeremy. I really do. People have worked really hard.
Oh,
And
no,
give them the
disputing
choice.
that. I'm not
Give them the
disputing
choice,
that. I'm not
because
disputing
people
that.
are living older, and as Sarah
Exactly.
Jane quite rightly said, people are more inclined now to get dementia. That's a fact. And a lot of the equity in the houses will be eaten up by the care system, by the government to pay for it, because it is
Let's
so
go.
expensive.
Let's go to the calls, because they're coming in thick and fast, and you may feel very, very strongly about this one. If you do get in touch. 0207 862 2222. Let's go to Linda in Bedfordshire. Hello, Linda. Thanks for ringing. What do you think? Should there be more money?
Thank you very much. Well, both my husband and I are retired.
Yeah.
We both worked from the age of 15, and last year, when my husband turned 80, he had a letter regarding his state pension, and because he's 80 now, he gets an extra 25p. I think that's an absolute atrocious thing.
And it would have spent more money sending you the letter to tell you that he was getting 25p than the 25p. Just imagine all those letters.
And as for them saying that 1 in 5 pensioners or 1 in 4 pensioners are millionaires, I'd like to meet a millionaire in our village. I can't think of anybody in our village that isn't a millionaire. And as for us poor older generation, people keep saying, throwing it down our throats, we are living too long.
Linda, you've
Yes.
just said that sentence, and it's sort of hanging there in the air. People keep telling us we are living too long. Can you explain how it feels when you hear that and you keep hearing that the whole time? It can't be balm to the soul. It must make you feel ghastly, doesn't it?
It does make you look at your own life, and the trouble is, as you get older, you don't feel any older. You get the aches and pains,
So true.
but you still feel young at heart.
Yeah.
And I hate it when I hear people say elderly people are living too long now. I intend to go and get a telegram from King William on my 100th birthday. So I'm not going to go. I'm not going to lay down and go quietly.
Quite right. Quite right. But let me
continue.
ask you, I know you said your husband got the extra 25p when he turned 80, but do you own your own home? Do you have very few outgoings?
No, we never earned enough salary to be able to have a mortgage.
Right.
We don't own our own home. We have a car that's about 18 years old. And we literally, apart from a little bit of savings, we can't even get pension credits. So we don't get any of the things like the heating allowance. We can't get anything like that because we have a little bit of saving. So we, as they said, we have paid in from age 15. I am 73. My husband is coming up for 81.
Yeah.
And we've paid in all that money. And it's an insult to send my husband 25p increase.
I agree. I mean, I couldn't agree more. It is an insult, a waste of time, it's a waste of money, and it's dreadfully insulting.
But isn't it wonderful? Linda can still enjoy her wonderful marriage with her husband and being together. And that's what keeps you young at heart, I'm sure.
Well said, Clem Muldoon, well said. Linda, lots of love to you. Loved your husband too. Thank you for calling. Let's go to Gladice in Cheshire. Gladice, how do you feel about this? Do you think pensioners do need more money?
No, I don't.
Ah, okay.
I think the lady, the Scottish lady, she's Scottish.
Yes.
The lady with the
She
dark
certainly
hair.
is. Yes, I am.
Right, well, she's talking a lot of sense, sir. What it actually is, I'm sorry I can't hear you talking, Vanessa, then. What it actually is, my husband and myself, I'm 80 odd, so's my husband. I'm his carer, right?
Right.
Now, the other day, I went to the doctors, very depressed. They said, you need what you call carer's respite.
Right.
I said, not your husband, but we'll have to put your husband in a home so you can have some respite at home. So I'm hurrying up. So to put my husband in a home, it would cost me 1,800 and something for 3 days. Wow. 3 days. Well, yeah. So I thought, beggar to that game. I've worked all my life. Since I know the lady, since I was 15-year-old, I've worked in pubs, cleaned the toilets. I've done everything, love.
Right.
All right?
Yes.
But I no family allowance, no children's allowance, nothing. I've never drawn a penny. There's some lazy beggars round me. They've never worked. They're better off. They're going handouts here, there and everywhere. They should stop them all. Stop them all. If they'd have worked all their lives, no pension credit and all this malarkey. Okay. There's too many lazy layabouts and they're all going. So that lady now, Linda's just been moaning about a £25 a week, 25p a week. We got it. All right, they give you 25. Can do without 20. But I'm not going up. She wanted more. Not less. I'll do without. No, I wanted more than 25. Everybody's greedy. And you don't need more. And you cut your cloth. You eat what you can afford. That's it.
And what's life like for you, Gladice? Are you able to have fun? Are you able to get out and see things? I mean, what's it like?
Terrible. I'm crying all the time.
Seriously?
If I keep on the phone too long, I'll start crying.
Oh, Gladice. Because you're so feisty and you're so trenchant and you're so sensible and you're obviously so sad as well.
I look after my husband. I'm his carer. I looked after my mother with no legs on. Yeah. I looked after my auntie to 97-year-old. I'm talking over you, Vanessa.
No, you're fine.
I've such a lot to say. I've such a lot to say. And when I hear people moaning and groaning about what they've got, the doctor sent a letter to the help, for help. They thought I needed some help. What do you need, Gladice? I said, I have somebody to help me to go shopping. I'm finding it hard now going with Alan, how he is and what have you. I'm finding it hard to do my shopping. All right, we'll see what we can do. That's 6 weeks ago. I am still, nobody. I pay a gardener to come and do my garden once a week. So my garden and my house looks tidy. I have a lady to come and I pay that lady to a couple of hours to do some ironing. I've had 3 heart attacks.
Oh, Gladice. Listen, Gladice, look, my darling, listen. Gladice, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but stay on the line. Stay on the line, because one of our lovely team, and they're all really nice, they'll have a bit of a chat to you afterwards. Don't just put the phone down and go and cry by yourself. Please don't. I wish I could talk to you much, much longer. In fact, what I really wish I could do is bring you down here to London to be on the show and give you a really fabulous time in a lovely hotel or something like that, and just to have some fun and some respite, which is obviously what you desperately need. But thank you so much for ringing. Stay on the line. I'll have a chat with you, see if there's anything at all that we can do or get started or put in motion for you. I feel for you. We all do, don't we?
All do.
Gladys, lots and lots of love. I mean, obviously having an unbelievably difficult time. And also when somebody like Gladys actually brings herself to ask for help. Yeah. Think how hard she's been pushed for that, and then nothing's happened.
And that's why you're listening, and I think that's wonderful to you and your team.
Well, I hope we can do something. Gladys, lots of love. Listen, lots of love, and thank you very much indeed for calling. Oh, blimey, gosh. Let's go to Karen in Belfast. Karen, what do you think? That was very, very moving and affecting, wasn't it?
Yes, I was very sorry to hear the circumstances poor Gladice was in. That's another reason why pensioners should have more money.
Defo.
Because if they did, poor Gladice might be able to pay for a little breakaway to have some respite for herself and her husband.
Exactly.
She's obviously worked very hard all her life. Mm. But I'm on here because my major concern was what Jeremy said. I don't agree with what Jeremy said at all. In fact, I found that a bit ridiculous.
You mean the bit about downsizing, that part?
Yes, because my parents were not from money, worked hard all their life, bought a house, and then enabled all us four siblings to buy our own houses. My husband and I now own our own house and intend to do the same thing. So there's no way when all my grandchildren from my 4 children come to my large home that I should downsize to suit someone else who hasn't worked hard all their life as I have and my husband has done.
And also, I think there is this thing about it being your home, you know, home sweet home, and home is where the heart is. And if you put your life and soul and heart and money into this home, you don't necessarily want to downsize, even if other people like to think you're rattling around in it. You don't think you're rattling, you think you're living. It's your home, you live in it. Karen, thank you very, very much indeed. I mean, Claire, yeah, I can't help thinking, I don't know whether anyone agrees with me or not, it's only my view, but that when government, when ministers, when politicians talk about pensioners, they see them as a sort of giant collective. They don't think of them as people.
Worse than that,
individuals, you know.
they other them. And I think that is consequentially an evil thing to do, actually. There is no respect for the elderly in this country. There is no respect for human beings in this country.
True.
Vis-a-vis Epping, etc., etc. There's so much going wrong in this world at the minute. Everyone is just out for themselves. And barely, is there any reason why it's not when we've got the iPhone, the iPad, the iMac? It's so utilitarian. It's so all about me. And this, you see Gladice, who's served all her life, helping people, caring people. Karen from Belfast there, her family worked really hard, you know, to do good and do the best they can for themselves and therefore the greater community. Where has that spirit gone? Where has it gone?
What a great guest she is. She's really great.
Yes,
she nails it. Absolutely excellent. Well
We had
said.
it a bit in COVID, didn't we, where people were coming together with a community spirit?
Yeah,
And
we
now it's
hoped
just
so,
gone again.
didn't we? We hoped so.
Yeah.